Well, Mayor Pat, we're going to pause here for a moment because we want to take you back to some of the news that was happening outside related to the convention, and that's where we're talking about the protesters. Just hours ago, there was chaos when protesters breached the security fence near the DNC.
Yeah, it was a small group, but they definitely made an impact. Police did respond in riot gear, and they did arrest 4 people.
Our Tara Molina was there, and she watched it all unfolding. Take a look.
We felt the shift and we saw the turn from peaceful protest to agitation. It started with people pushing up against the barricades placed by the city. Then they started shaking them loose. Check out what happened next. You can see people taking down the barricaded walls and move into the secure perimeter. The crowd that formed refused to move, and we watched police take next steps, putting on gas masks, and then the riot team moved in. At one point, people surrounded us and tried to block our camera. We pushed back and watched some in the crowd start throwing drinks and signs at the police. We know 4 people were arrested. Eventually, the crew was pushed out of both the secure area and the park. Here's Chicago Police Superintendent Larry Snelling.
Our job here is to make sure that we keep the DNC safe, keep our city safe, and keep our people safe. We have no idea what they would have done if they gotten on to the other side. But as I said before, we're not going to tolerate anyone who is going to vandalize things in our city. We're not going to tolerate anyone who are going to commit acts of violence.
Again, we were told that 4 people were arrested in that altercation that you just watched with police. We're working to learn more about those people and what happens next, and we'll continue to bring you the very latest coming up at 10. For now, reporting outside the United Center, I'm Tara Molina, CBS News, Chicago.
Let's go to Jermont Terry in Union Park, where police have been urging protesters to go home for the evening. He joins us now. Jermont.
Joe and Erica, Chicago police are still here at Union Station. The crowd has somewhat died down a little bit, but keep in mind, this is where that coalition met earlier today. Some 270 organizations all started here at Union Park, and they marched down the streets to United Center. Let's show you some of the video from earlier today. As I mentioned, some nearly 3,000 people gathered. And for the majority of the march, it was peaceful. I talked to some that were inside this march. They say they met some agitators along the way, and obviously what Tara was just talking about, they ran into that group that tried to breach security at the United Center. But for the most part, this group of the coalition, they were here all protesting, asking for an end to the war in Gaza. I had a chance to talk to a young man from Pittsburgh. He said he was prideful to walk in the streets of Chicago with some 3,000 people, all for one cause, and for the most part, keeping it peaceful. That young man also pointed out that it wasn't just demonstrators being peaceful. He also felt, despite Chicago police being out here, they were looking for peace and a resolution as well, and he did not feel the pushback from them. But again, back here at Union Park, for the most part, Chicago police, they had a good presence out here. In the last 5 minutes, they somewhat went away as this crowd has died down here. But for the most part, that's what we've seen here at Union Park, as this coalition for the protest will have another march on tomorrow and another larger march the night that Vice President Kamala Harris speaks at the DNC. For now, reporting live at Union Park, right down the street from you guys, I'm going to send it back to you inside the United Center.
Jermont, thanks very much.